Well, it's now official. America is or has become a police state. And that's not a statement of conspiracy theory. That's not an outlandish statement, but that statement is simply based on the facts. For instance, on December 15th, the House of Senate passed a bill, the National Defense Authorization Act, and they passed this bill for 2012. And in this bill, they came up with new provisions or new powers for this bill, which is now officially law. And these new laws basically give the American government the authority and the power to arrest or detain anybody they view with suspicion. So basically, if the government views you with suspicion as being a threat to national security, or you might be a member of Al-Qaeda or the Taliban or some other group, or you might be supporting them, if you are suspected of the following, then they will snatch you and they'll throw you into prison. They'll throw you into detention. And the ones who will be given this power will be the military. So if you are arrested under suspicion, you won't even be thrown into a civilian judiciary. You won't be thrown into a civilian court system. Rather, you'll be dealt and held by the military. And this is textbook definition of a police state. Now, I want you to understand what this means. I mean, I've made it clear for you, but just try to comprehend that. Just think about that. Think about how crazy this law is. And by the way, this has been happening for the past 10 years. America has already been arresting and detaining people without any charges, and they've held them on an indefinite basis. So that's been happening. But what makes this different is now that the government has officially come out and passed a law which now officially gives the government the right to do so. So now it has the executive power to do so. So basically it's now codified. So they've been doing it the whole time, but now it is official law, passed by the government, passed in the House of Congress, passed by the House of Senate. So think about that. You can be detained without any charge if they view you with suspicion. Now, on a usual basis, let's say someone arrests you because of some suspicious, or they're suspicious of you. Now, if you're not guilty, then you have nothing to worry about. You know, you'll go to court, you'll have your day in court, you'll prove you're innocent, you know, you'll prove the charges against you are false. So you don't have anything to worry about. But this law takes that basic fundamental right away from you. In other words, you won't even have your day in court. You won't even have your right and your process to go to court to defend yourself against the accusations that they've thrown against you. If they view you with suspicion, this law allows them to just throw you into detention, no court, no trial, and on an indefinite basis. So they can throw you away, lock you up for years without any charge, without any day in court. Do you understand how bad that is? I mean, you can't possibly make that up. Literally, I can't believe that they actually had the guts to come out and openly do this. I mean, this takes it to a whole nother level. Just think about that. If they view you with suspicion, you're just going to be locked away. No court, you have no way to defend yourself. You have no way to stand up to the charges. There is no process. Imagine that. Imagine you're sitting away, locked up in detention for 5 years, for 10 years, for even a year. Even 1 year is bad enough. Imagine you have to sit for all that time without any charge. No charge has been brought against you. And you're locked away for years based on nothing. I mean, you can't make this up. You literally cannot make this up. Now, that's bad enough. That's bad enough. But what makes this worse is that this contradicts, this violates the American Constitution. This violates American law, the Bill of Rights. That's what makes it worse, that they are openly coming out and doing this, and they are openly violating the very core principles and values and codified law of America. The founding fathers of America are literally rolling in their graves if they hear of this. It is a basic right of any citizen. In fact, the Constitution doesn't say American, it says citizen. Now, some might interpret it whatever they want, but even if you think it's only Americans, whatever, that's a debate for another day. But the Constitution makes it clear in the Bill of Rights and throughout the Constitution that a citizen will have a right to a trial. Not just a trial, but to a fast and fair and speedy trial. The Constitution, the Bill of Rights, makes that 100% clear. If there are charges against you, you will have your day in court. A speedy trial. That is a fundamental right that you, as a citizen, as an American citizen, I'm an American citizen, I have that right. But now, according to this new law, you don't have that right. You don't have a right to a speedy trial. They can throw you away, lock you up, based on an indefinite amount of time, without any trial. That violates the Constitution. These politicians, when they came into office, they swore to uphold and to protect the Constitution. Well, they're violating it right now. Think about that. They are openly violating the very law that they're supposed to uphold. It's bad enough that they did this law, but it's worse that they're doing this law openly disobeying and violating the American Constitution. Just think about how bad that is. They are openly violating the very law that they have been sworn to protect. And the Bill of Rights, ladies and gentlemen, do you know about the Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments of the Constitution? Do you know why they were made? Because the American forefathers, they were worried that even if we make laws that one day a tyrannical government might come into power and take all your rights away. So to ensure that that could never happen, and that such a government who did come into power would be illegitimate, they came up with the Bill of Rights to ensure these core freedoms and human principles. The Bill of Rights are not up to vote. The Bill of Rights are there to stay. They are ingrained there to stay. That's the whole point of the Bill of Rights. To make sure that these laws would never go away. To make sure that any government who went against them would be illegitimate. And yet, this government has officially taken the law or your right away. It's taken those Bill of Rights away. They've gone against the very principles of the Constitution and of the Bill of Rights. And what's worse is that there are people who support this. They come out and say, yeah, we gotta fight the terrorists. But what they don't know is that these laws will be used against them. You're not in the boat. Don't think you're in the same boat as the politicians and the elite. To you guys who say, yeah, we gotta fight the terrorists, don't think you're in their camp. They're making these laws to work against you, to take away your rights, to take away your freedoms. under the pretext of fighting terrorism, under the pretext of national security. Notice, this law isn't simply against foreigners. This law includes American citizens as well. Notice how they do it. You see, first it's against the evil man in the Middle East or in the caves. You know, we're fighting these terrorists, so it's okay if we go against the law. But you see, slow by slow, they now turn the law against their own people. Now we can hold you indefinitely. You see how it works? Slowly and slowly, you take away people's freedoms and you take away, or no, you increase your power, all under the pretext of fighting terrorism. And now, where is everybody to speak up against this? You know, where are all you people who claim to love freedom? You know, where's Pat Condell, that joker? Where is he to make a video about this? Where is Thunderfoot? You know, Thunderfoot, he acts like he's this great leader for freedom of speech. You know, he comes out always talking about how important freedom is and how it's a bedrock of Western civilization. Where's his video to condemn this? Where's his video to speak up and say it's wrong to hold somebody with no charge on an indefinite basis? That contradicts the very principle of freedom and values. Where are all you guys who claim to love freedom all of a sudden? None of them have made a video on this issue, speaking up. So much for freedom. Yeah, they really love freedom, don't they? They don't care about freedom. These guys are jokers. They just want to make their little videos on controversy, just to act like they care about freedom. But when these real issues are happening, notice, they don't even make a video or a comment about it. That's how much they love freedom. So anyway, welcome to the police state. They can now arrest you with no charge, with no trial, on an indefinite basis. Think about that. Think about how dangerous that is. And that's basically it. Thank you very much.